Hi everyone, welcome back. Thanks for joining us today. We've got a brand new story to share with you. So let's begin. It started with burgers, beer, and fireworks, pretty much the standard 4th of July lineup. I'd tagged along to my coworker Matt's backyard barbecue in Boise just to avoid another lonely night flipping through Netflix. I didn't expect much, but then I met Emily. She was standing near the cooler, arguing with some guy about whether canned wine should be illegal. I tossed out a comment. She laughed, and just like that we were in our own little bubble. We talked about everything: college regrets, music we grew up on, worst job stories. Hours passed like minutes. By the time fireworks lit up the sky, we were shoulder to shoulder on a picnic blanket, passing a bottle of cheap rose back and forth. That night, we exchanged numbers. The texting started the next day. It didn't take long before the texts turned into weekend hikes, late-night FaceTimes, and random Tuesday coffee dates. She was easy to be around. There was no pressure with her, no games, no guesswork. Just a good time that felt like it was building towards something solid. A couple months in, she started staying over on weekends. Her toothbrush was in my bathroom before I even realized it. One morning I woke up to her making pancakes in my kitchen wearing one of my old college t-shirts, and I thought, this is it. This feels right. We didn't rush anything. We just kept showing up for each other. Over time, the casual stuff turned into real routines, grocery runs together, splitting gas money for weekend trips, introducing her to my parents. She never talked much about hers, and I didn't push. By the end of year one, she was basically living at my place on the weekends. She never officially moved in, but it felt like we had a rhythm, like we were building something that lasted past the honeymoon phase. We dated for a little over 3 years before I proposed. Simple setup, just the two of us on the lake. Early morning, her favorite coffee in one hand and the ring in the other. She said yes before I even finished the sentence. Cried into my hoodie for 5 straight minutes. I thought we had that rare kind of trust. The real stuff, not the social media crap people post, but the quiet, steady kind you build over time. The kind you bet your future on. I really believed it'd last a lifetime. That Friday started like any other. She showed up just after 6, same as usual, with her duffel bag slung over one shoulder and a 6-pack of that overpriced wine cooler crap she loved in the other. Dropped the bag in the hallway without a word, kissed me quick, and headed straight to the kitchen. We made dinner together, baked salmon, roasted potatoes, salad I didn't really want, but she insisted on. She opened the wine and poured it like she lived here. Honestly, it felt good. Familiar. Like we were already married. While she chopped cucumbers, I leaned against the counter scrolling through Spotify, queuing up her favorite playlist. She asked about work. I gave her the usual rundown. Boring meetings, annoying client emails, one guy who still doesn't understand how reply all works. She laughed, shook her head, called corporate life death by 1,000 emails. Over dinner, we sat at the table like we always did, candles lit, phones away, just eating and talking. She told me her friend Kayla got engaged. I asked if she liked the guy. She shrugged, said he was fine, I guess, then rolled her eyes and said Kayla falls in love every 6 months. Then, somewhere between bites, she mentioned it, just tossed it out there like nothing. Oh, I might need to drive down to see my brother tomorrow, she said, sipping her wine. Some family stuff. I nodded. Everything okay? She waved it off. Yeah, just stuff. You know how they are. She'd always been vague about her family. I knew she had a younger brother and that their parents split when she was a kid, but that was about it. Anytime I asked for details, she clammed up, said it was complicated. I respected that. We all have our walls. So I didn't press her. I just said, cool, let me know if you want me to come with. And she said no. It'd be a quick visit, probably back by Sunday night. We cleared the plates together and loaded the dishwasher. She kissed me on the cheek and said I smelled like garlic. After dinner, we curled up on the couch and threw on one of those murder documentaries she liked. She tucked her legs under mine, head on my chest, one hand resting on my stomach. I ran my fingers through her hair while we watched some guy explain how his neighbor was secretly a serial killer. Halfway through the episode, she fell asleep, breathing slow, body relaxed, dead weight against me like she always did when she passed out early. I didn't mind. I liked having her close like that. Then her phone buzzed. At first, I ignored it. Could have been Kayla or some group chat. But it buzzed again. And again. Same rhythm. 3 quick dings. Pause. then two more. It lit up on the armrest just beside her. I leaned a little and glanced. The preview on the lock screen made my stomach shift. Ryan, can't wait for tomorrow. Finally some alone time. Still got that dress I like. I stared at it for a second, like maybe I'd misread it. Like it could have been a joke. A bad one. But then it buzzed again. Ryan. Told him it's family stuff. We're good. I didn't move. Didn't breathe. Just stared at the screen while her head rose and fell on my chest, completely still. The same girl who just kissed me in the kitchen. The same one who said she loved me before passing out. She was right there, like nothing was wrong. But something was way off. I didn't touch the phone, not yet. Just watched it buzz again and again like it was mocking me. Every message lit up like a punch to the chest. Like a joke I didn't know I was part of. My mind was spinning. I sat there frozen, TV still playing in the background, her weight against me like some sick comfort I hadn't earned. Everything about that night had felt so normal. The wine, the dinner, the way she smiled when I wiped flour off her nose. Now I was wondering who the hell I'd been cooking with. I waited a few minutes, hoping the buzzing would stop. It didn't. Her head was still on my chest. Her breath was warm through my shirt. It felt wrong, holding her like that while those messages lit up beside us. My chest got tight, like I couldn't get a full breath no matter how hard I tried. Curiosity isn't even the right word. It was instinct. Survival mode. I reached over and grabbed her phone off the armrest. My hand was shaking. We'd shared passcodes months ago, just part of how open things had always been. So I unlocked it without hesitation. Her lock screen disappeared. The messages were right there in a thread with some guy named Ryan. I tapped it. Ryan, can't wait to have you to myself this weekend. Told him it's a family thing. We're good. Still thinking about last time. Don't flake on me again. Booked the room already, Friday through Sunday. Each line hit like a gut punch. No overthinking. No wiggle room. It was exactly what it looked like. No family visit. No brother. She shifted a little in her sleep, groaned quietly, then went still again. I didn't move. I kept scrolling. He'd sent her selfies, shirtless ones. There were heart emojis, inside jokes, phrases I'd never heard her say before. She called him babe in one of them. Babe. Like she used to call me when she wanted something. One message was from last weekend. Ryan, I know you still feel guilty. Just don't overthink it. You're allowed to be happy. And she'd replied, I know. He's just not like you. That one cracked something in me. Not like him. I was the one who showed up every damn weekend. Cooked with her. Helped her pick out paint samples for the apartment she wanted. I knew her coffee order, her allergy meds, the way she cried when watching that dumb shelter dog commercial. This guy, this Ryan, he didn't know her. He just got the fantasy version. The one she gave him behind my back. I set the phone down on the coffee table, screen up, text still open. I couldn't even bring myself to lock it again. I stared at the TV. Some cop was walking through blood on a hardwood floor talking about motive. I couldn't hear any of it. My ears were ringing. She shifted again and sighed, still asleep, still curled into me like nothing was wrong. I looked down at her and felt disconnected, like I was watching someone I used to know. I didn't feel rage. Not yet. It was worse than that. It was disbelief, this heavy, hollow thing in my chest that just sat there. I kept thinking, there's no way she meant to hurt me. She's better than this. But the text said otherwise. I didn't shake her awake. Didn't yell. Didn't say a word. I just sat there for hours with her weight pressing into me and her lies still glowing on the screen. I needed to see if she'd say something in the morning. Anything. A clue. A crack. I needed to know if she'd look me in the eye and lie to my face after everything we'd built. She'd always said honesty was everything. Always claimed she hated cheaters. Used to say if someone couldn't be faithful, they should just leave. Walk away. I guess those rules only applied to other people. Eventually, the screen went dark. The buzzes stopped. Her phone sat quiet on the table, just a dead rectangle hiding the rest of the story. I didn't sleep. I just waited for morning, to see what kind of person she really was when the mask came off. She stretched around 7, yawned into my shoulder, then kissed my jaw like everything was fine. I didn't move, just kept staring at the TV, which had long since rolled into some random episode about forensic evidence and tire treads. She sat up, rubbed her eyes. Did we fall asleep like that? She mumbled, smiling. My neck's gonna hate me. I didn't answer, just nodded once. She stood, grabbed her phone from the coffee table, still unlocked, screen still dark. She didn't notice. Didn't check. Just tossed it in her bag like it was any other morning. She padded to the bathroom, humming something under her breath. I sat there on the couch, trying to keep my hands from shaking. My stomach felt like it was made of wet cement. I didn't know how to breathe around the feeling. She came back out, already dressed in jeans and that tight gray sweater she wore when she wanted compliments. Sat on the floor and started folding her duffel, slipping in her charger and a small makeup bag. "Wish I didn't have to go," she said without looking up. "Weekends feel way too short now." I watched her fold a hoodie, the same one she stole from me months ago. She always called it her comfort sweater. That hit differently now. She zipped up the bag and finally glanced at me. "I'll text you later from my brother's, okay? Depending how the drive goes." I nodded again. My mouth was dry. I didn't trust my voice yet. She stood, walked over, and kissed me on the forehead. "You good? You're quiet this morning." I forced out, "Didn't sleep much." She tilted her head. "You look mad." Her voice had that careful tone, the one she used when she thought she might have stepped on a nerve. "I'm fine," I said. Flat. Nothing behind it. She paused, then ran her hand down my arm. "Okay, just call me if you need anything." I stood up, walked her to the door. She slipped on her shoes, grabbed her keys. Her hand was on the doorknob when I finally said it. "Good luck on your date." She froze. Didn't move, didn't breathe, just stood there like I'd smacked her in the back of the head. Her head turned slightly. "What?" she said. But it wasn't confusion. It was panic pretending to be confusion. I didn't blink. "I hope he's worth it." She turned all the way now, wide-eyed, voice climbing. "What are you talking about?" I didn't answer. She stepped closer. "Wait, are you serious right now?" She shook her head like I'd just accused her of stealing a car. "I'm going to see my brother." "Why would you even?" I opened the door. "Hold on. Wait. Where is this coming from?" Her voice cracked. "Did someone say something? What's going on?" I didn't give her anything. She stood there, scrambling. "I don't. Babe, you're scaring me." "What did I do?" Then her eyes flicked to the coffee table, right where her phone had been. I saw it hit her. That fast. 1 second of frozen stillness. She opened her mouth, then shut it. Face dropped. All that fake confusion drained out of her like someone pulled the plug. I said nothing. Just stood there, holding the door open. "Let me explain," she started. I shut the door. Didn't slam it. Didn't yell. Just pushed it closed like I was done talking. Because I was. The second the door clicked shut, she exploded on the other side. First came the knock. Light, polite, like she was trying not to wake the neighbors. Then harder. Then fast. "Please open the door," she said, her voice already breaking. "Can we just talk for a second? Please." I didn't move. Just stood there, hands still on the doorknob, staring at the wood between us. She knocked again. "I swear, it's not what you think. I didn't mean for this to happen." I backed away from the door and sat down on the couch. Another knock. Then came the texts. One after another, buzzing like crazy in my pocket. I pulled the phone out and watched the messages pile in. "Emily, please just let me explain. I'll cancel the weekend, I swear. I don't even want to go. It's not like that. I don't want him." I just stared at the screen. Didn't even unlock it. Her name lighting up over and over like she was trying to claw her way through the phone. Then her voice cracked through the door again, louder this time. "I made a mistake, okay? A stupid mistake. Can we just talk?" I leaned back on the couch, both hands in my lap. Every word out of her mouth sounded like it belonged to someone else. Some version of her I hadn't met before. She started crying then. Real crying. The kind that turns into a whimper. It echoed faint off the hallway walls. My phone buzzed again. "Emily, I messed up. I panicked. I didn't know what to do. Please, I still love you." "Love?" I set the phone face down. She kept knocking, softer now. Then she sat against the door. I could hear the fabric of her sweater brush against the frame as she slid down to the floor. I didn't say a word. The guilt didn't hit me. Not even a flicker. It was buried under too much rawness. Too fresh. Too sharp. I wasn't mad. Not in that explosive way people talk about on TV. I was just done. Like the tank hit empty, and there was nothing left to give. She sniffled through the crack in the door. "Please. You don't have to forgive me. Just let me talk. 1 minute. That's all I'm asking." The longer she sat there, the quieter she got. Her voice went from begging to whispering, like she was running out of options. Or energy. Eventually, the knocking stopped. No more please. No more footsteps. She just sat there, still. A few minutes passed. Then more buzzing. Emily, I'm going home. Please don't hate me. I didn't mean for it to go this far. Please text me when you're ready to talk. I read them all like I was watching a movie I'd already seen. The main character spiraling, trying to take back something that couldn't be undone. But there was no rewind button for this. After a while, I stood and peeked through the peephole. She was gone. Hallway empty. Quiet. I waited another few seconds. Then walked back to the couch, sat down, and let the silence take over. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just breathed. Finally, and stared at the black screen of her phone, still sitting where she left it the night before. I didn't touch her phone after that night. Just tossed it in a drawer, shut it, and left it there. But mine? That thing turned into a damn war zone. She messaged every single day. Sometimes once, sometimes 20 times. Morning, afternoon, middle of the night. No pattern, no logic, just constant noise. Some texts were long, walls of guilt and explanation, like she was writing a letter to a priest. Others were just fragments. I miss you. I'm sorry. I was scared. Please. There was one that hit around 2 in the morning. I ruined the best thing that ever happened to me. I don't know who I am without you. And another 2 hours later. Maybe you never loved me as much as I thought. That one made me laugh. Short, bitter. Like she was trying to flip the blame around, see if I'd flinch. I didn't. I never blocked her. I wanted to. Thought about it every time the screen lit up. But the truth was, I needed to see it. Not for drama, not for revenge, just to remind myself what I walked away from. There was a strange clarity in the silence. Every message I didn't answer was a line I drew, a way to hold on to something real. Because if I opened the door even a crack, I knew she'd push her way back in. And I couldn't do it. Not again. The texts started splitting into categories. One day she'd be broken, begging, promising to fix it, offering therapy, closure, whatever I wanted. Next day she'd swing angry. I didn't cheat. Nothing physical happened. You threw away 3 years over some texts. You didn't even give me a chance to explain. Then back to soft again. The cycle was exhausting even from a distance. Some nights I'd lie in bed, phone face down beside me, and just feel it vibrate every 5 minutes like clockwork. I didn't have to look. I already knew who it was. I saw your mom at the store. I still sleep in your hoodie. Remember the cabin in McCall? I drove past it. It never stopped. And yet, not one of those texts gave me what I needed, the full truth. The full why. Just scraps, excuses, emotional gymnastics. I didn't want that. I didn't want a breakdown. I didn't want her showing up again with mascara tears and some speech about regret. I didn't want revenge or closure or some clean ending tied up with a bow. I just wanted peace. So I let her messages pile up. Never deleted them. Never read them more than once. Just let them sit there, silent proof of what happened. It wasn't easy. Some nights I'd hold the phone and hover over the keyboard. Fingers shaking, heart racing like I was about to hit send. But I never did. I always stopped myself. Because the moment I responded, even just once, the silence would lose its weight. And that silence? It was the only thing keeping me sane. It was a Saturday. Late morning, maybe close to noon. I was making coffee when the knock came. Same knock as before, soft at first, then a second one right after. Familiar rhythm. I didn't even need to check the peephole. Her voice followed a second later. Shaky. Quiet. I'm not here to argue, she said. I swear. I need to talk. I stood in the kitchen, staring at the cabinet. Every part of me wanted to ignore her. Just let her keep knocking until she gave up again. But something in her tone stopped me. I walked over, opened the door. She looked awful. Eyes puffy. Hair pulled back in a loose bun like she hadn't tried at all. Face pale, no makeup. She was holding a tissue balled up in one hand, and her mouth open like she was relieved just seeing me. I'm not gonna yell, she said fast. I just need to say a few things. Please. I stepped aside. She walked in slow, like the floor might collapse under her. She stood in the living room for a second, eyes darting around like she didn't know where to sit. Finally, she just sank into the edge of the couch and looked down at her hands. I lied, she said. That night. And the weeks after. I lied because I didn't know how to admit what I was doing. I stayed standing. She kept talking. It started with texts. Dumb stuff. I missed how things used to feel. New, exciting, whatever. I thought maybe talking to someone else would fix something in me. She looked up, voice small. But it didn't. It just made everything worse. I didn't say anything. She took a breath. I didn't sleep with him. That's the truth. It never got that far. But I let it get close. Close enough to count. I nodded once. Not because I believed her, just because I heard her. She kept going. It was stupid. And selfish. And I knew better. But I convinced myself it didn't mean anything because it wasn't physical. Her eyes welled up. But it was something. And it hurt you. I know that now. I could see she believed what she was saying. She wasn't putting on a show. She looked like someone who hadn't eaten right in days. Someone who'd been living with that guilt like it was acid in her stomach. But none of it moved me. Not because I didn't believe her regret. I did. But because regret didn't fix a damn thing. I stood there while she unraveled in front of me, waiting for the part where I'd feel something. Anger, forgiveness, sadness, anything. But all I felt was distance. She wiped her nose with the tissue. I don't want him. I never did. I was just trying to feel something different. I didn't realize what I was destroying until it was already gone. Her voice cracked on that last part, and then she went quiet, hands shaking in her lap. Waiting. I didn't sit. Didn't reach for her. I just stood there with my arms crossed, letting the silence fill the room. Because she'd said what she came to say, and I had nothing left to give her. She sat there, still waiting, still hoping I might say something to soften the silence. Maybe even take her side for a second. I didn't. I walked over slowly, sat in the chair across from her, elbows on my knees. Looked her right in the eyes. And I asked, calm as ever, would you have told me if I didn't find out? She blinked. Her lips parted like the answer was already there. But nothing came out. She looked away, opened her mouth again, then shut it. That pause, that one long beat of silence, said more than anything she could have tried to spin. I leaned back. Yeah, that's what I thought. She wiped her cheek, trying to hold back whatever was coming. I was going to. Eventually. I didn't want to lose you. I shook my head. You already had. She looked like she wanted to argue, but didn't have the strength for it. The weight of everything she'd done was written all over her face. Her voice dropped to almost nothing. I didn't mean to hurt you. I stood up. You didn't mean to get caught. She flinched, sat back deeper into the couch, hugging herself like she was freezing. That moment, standing there, watching her shrink into herself, should have broken me. Should have ripped me in half after everything we'd been through. But all I felt was final. I can't marry you, I said. That's not changing. She looked up, eyes glassy. Please don't say that. You're the only person I've ever. No, I cut in. I don't want another speech. I don't need to hear how sorry you are, or how scared you were, or how you didn't think it'd go that far. I pointed at the door. I saw the texts. I saw what you chose. And you didn't stop. Not until I found them. She nodded slowly, like she already knew how this would end. Like she came here hoping for a miracle she didn't earn. I still love you, she said, barely above a whisper. Then you should have protected that. The room stayed quiet for a few seconds. Just her breathing heavy and me staring at the floor. Finally, I said it. I'm ending the engagement. It's done. She didn't argue. No last-ditch effort. Just a quiet sob and a slow nod. I walked to the door and held it open. Don't contact me again, I said. Please. She stood, grabbed her purse off the floor, and walked past me without another word. No begging this time. No breakdown. Just that look. The one where she finally understood what she'd done. She stepped into the hallway, stopped, turned halfway like she wanted to say something. But then she looked at me, really looked, and realized there was nothing left to say. I shut the door. That was it. Whatever we had, whatever we thought we were building, I closed the door on all of it. I stood at the door for a long time after it closed. No sound on the other side. No footsteps, no voice. Just silence. That was the end of it. But the thing about endings? They don't feel clean. Not when the trust was real. Not when you meant it. I still think about it sometimes. Not the fight. Not the lies. Not even the texts. Just the quiet moments when everything felt normal. When I thought we were building something solid. Something worth protecting. We'd be cooking dinner, or laughing over some stupid show, or passing out on the couch, and it all felt real. That's what screws with you. That felt real. But betrayal doesn't scream. It doesn't slam doors or throw punches. It slips in, smiles, kisses you goodnight, then walks away like nothing happened. I don't hate her. I wish I could. That'd be easier. But I don't. I just can't forgive what she chose to do. She didn't trip and fall into it. She chose it. Again and again. And yeah, I question myself more now. Not just about her, about me. About how I missed it. About how I looked her in the face and believed every word without blinking. That messes with your head. You think, if I couldn't see that coming, what else am I blind to? I catch myself overthinking now. I reread texts too carefully. I second-guess silence. I notice tone shifts in conversations that probably mean nothing. But I'm not broken. I've been working out again. Seeing friends I lost touch with. Sleeping better, slowly. Not perfect, but better. I don't check my phone waiting for her name to pop up anymore. That part's over. And when I catch myself slipping into old habits, the comfort, the routine, the good memories, I stop and remind myself what it really was. Not every lie comes with a warning sign. Some just wear your hoodie, kiss your neck, and call you babe while texting someone else on the side. I'll move on. I know that. But I'll never ignore the red flags again. And I'll never mistake comfort for honesty. Do you think she would have confessed if he hadn't found the texts? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and hit like and subscribe for more real stories.